Good episode, y'all. Good episode. We had two episode drought. Like episode 9 and 10 was like, this was good. This was good. And I just realized I didn't finish watching the sneak peek for next week, but it's gonna be good. I already know it's gonna be good. But if y'all are new here, please subscribe. Please do that. We are on the road to 6,000, but we're really on the road to 10K. Y'all killed it last week. Let's keep doing that again. Thumbs up the video. Let's try and get 200 likes. I didn't check again. I hope we got to 200 likes last week. We probably didn't, but let's try and get there this week on this video. Be in the comments. Y'all know I'm gonna get in the comments with y'all because this was a good episode to talk about. A good one. But yeah, let's get into it. Joseline and the New Girls, they are arriving to Area 29, Houston, for their first performance. So we see them all getting ready and everything. Everybody looks good. For the most part, everybody does look good. I will say that, including Joseline. But we get the performance. Melissa, she introduced, y'all know Melissa. Melissa from Love and Hip Hop, who's always with Joseline. She introduces Joseline and the girls, and they start the Domino performance. It was lit. They all were together. They looked pretty good together on the stage. Like nobody really stuck out. Nobody stood out in this particular dance for a bad reason. They looked cohesive for the most part. The outfits are black. They had these little domino type hats on. They look good. Joseline looked good. The performance was good. Joseline ends up performing another song. Ocean gets a solo. There's multiple different songs that are being played. We kind of got like a set list of Joseline's show. I was expecting it to just be one performance and that's it. But they put in some work because they had a couple routines. I thought they only was really rehearsing the Domino and a little bit of the Lauderdale, but they had a couple routines. But Oceans gets up there, does her solo. She's talking about how this is her time to shine because she's been pretty much dancing like a white girl. When she got on the pole, her tricks was cool, and that's where she looked the best. But when she got on the floor trying to dance, doing that extra stuff with her face, it was white girl. It was still giving white girl. But they do the Lauderdale performance. Obviously, everybody in the club knew that song. They was lit with it. Neek, Isis, and Lexi kind of stood out to me the most in this particular number. Draya, she started talking about how the New Girls probably shook, thinking that the OGs might actually know some shit. They actually was showing y'all up. If you ask me, the New Girls upstaged them. Truly. Like, the New Girls was pulling my eyes more than Dani, Draya, Raven, Diamond. So, what you talking about? but they go to the next song. My baby girl, Neek. Woo. I gotta go back and rewatch that a couple times. She looked good. She tore that thing up. Hit the splits. You can tell she know what she doing. She know what she doing. I'm about to slide in them DMs. She's something else. Even though she does some things, which I'm gonna get to it later on. But that's a woman. That's a woman I would go pursue for real. But next song. I'm very, like I said, I'm shocked that they have more dances. They had a lot of like choreography with the dances, a lot of like group numbers too, which a lot of these numbers we didn't see them rehearsing. So I'm like, so they really was rehearsing, which is why I like the show because it's a lot more to it besides just fighting because they actually were rehearsing. But they're doing really good with this number. Queen Envy has her solo. She's sticking a candle. Well, she's sucking the candle at first. Then she sticks it in between her legs and then lights her shit on fire like she did in that one challenge. Do It Like It's My B-Day came up. Joseline looked good doing this one. This is where she was most revealed. Her body looks good. Joseline looks good. The girl that was in the audience was cracking me up because she was doing the dance. And she was on the chair. Yeah, I mean, the girls are now in the audience watching her perform this one. Joseline ends up saying that she couldn't be happier to share the stage with them girls because she knew that they came from the same place. Essentially, like where she came from. She knew where they are because she was once in their place. But she then thanks everybody for coming out. She says it's time to go outside and hit the town. Her and the girls leave. And they make their exit. So the girls, we get them getting off the bus. They've changed already, which I'm hoping that they showered after the performance, which I'm sure they did. But let's just hope they did. But they head off to the elimination dinner. Neek ends up saying that she thought we was going to dinner because they get in there and it's just these tables, kind of like baddie style. There's all these tables, but there's no food there. So Neek's like, I hope we're going to eat. Joseline walks in and sits down. Everybody's telling her how amazing she did at the performance. She did do good. They did good. I will say that. For the most part, everybody did good. But Joseline ends up saying that some of y'all are going to be still competing, but some of y'all are going home tonight. I'm like, okay, finally we get some eliminations. Joseline is, and I wanted to know that because I wanted to see how she got down to the dancers that she has currently on tour right now. Which I will say, like, this is actually like a tour. I thought when I hear Joseline's tour, I don't expect it to kind of be like a tour. Obviously, it's not going to be like what you expect for Beyonce or whatever, like a whole stadium arena tour. But what I've seen so far, because I follow Neek, obviously. I follow Isis, even though we'll get to Isis later on. And I follow the Zeus page that they have. So I've seen, in the Zeus T pages, obviously, I've seen the performances that they've had. They have a lot of different costume changes. They're going on tour, city to city to city, which I think is good too, and it's cool. And they're having turnouts. A lot of people are showing up, so good for them. But she ends up saying too, and I hope they're getting paid for that. I hope they're paying the girls for touring. I hope they are. But Joseline ends up saying that we've had a lot of ups and downs this season, but we've been working really hard. I can tell. They start reminiscing on the first time that they had met all up at the masquerade party in episode 1 and how Draya was the first person to throw the first punch of the season. Joseline asked her how she felt about it, and Draya ends up saying it might have been excessive to other people, which it was. But it gets to a point where people keep trying you and then you finally just bust. And Joseline says, like, you said a lot of the girls in here are not here for the right reasons. 3 times you said this to me. Draya sitting there trying to cop a plea, trying not to own up to the fact that she does that shit, but Joseline is making her stand on that shit, saying drop names, do it. She then gets forced into saying Erica, and then she says Barbie, Dominican Barbie, which we find out is Dez. And Joseline asks Erica, how you feel about that? Erica says, Draya, like, what's my, because she apparently has said that Erica's here for her brand, which if she is, good, because that's what all of y'all should be there for. You getting on TV. Joseline is not baddies level type notoriety, attention, but she gets attention off of the show. And regardless of what kind of attention you getting, any TV show that you go on, if you're not there to brand yourself, you're stupid. You're wasting your time. Why would anybody on the show not be there to brand themselves? But Erica tries to deny it, even though I would have stood in it. Like, if Joseline had an issue with that, she had an issue with that. I'd have been like, look, I'm a businesswoman. I'm here to literally get as much money as I can. Yes, I'm here for you. I'm here to do what I'm here to do. But the cabaret is not the only thing that's going on in life. Like, you got to brand yourself. But Erica ends up asking her, like, what is my brand? Draya sitting there saying, you're right. I hear what you're saying. You're not literally answering her question. And Erica's like, you don't even know what a brand is. Like, how you gonna sit here and say I'm here for my brand, but you can't even tell me what my brand is? Erica was like, you the first person fighting and got the audacity to be talking about somebody on here clout chasing, because that's what Draya was saying as well. Draya ends up saying this season was more clout chasing than last season. No, like, and if anybody's chasing clout, it's you, because this is your second season. If you weren't chasing clout, you wouldn't have came back. You like the clout that comes with the show. Like, it's everything that she's pointing at these girls, which is funny because she's talking about somebody projecting later on, but you're projecting. Everything you're doing is what, but then again, she probably is here for Joseline, because her and Dani don't have respect for themselves, but we'll get to it later on. But Dani obviously agrees with Draya. Joseline ends up asking Draya who else is not here, since you said 3 times who else is not here. Draya ends up saying everybody on the other side of the table, which is Lexi, Neek, Jayla, Dez, Rose, Hennessyy, and Isis. They then ask, hold on, I'm about to pause this real quick, because I don't know if y'all hear the episode playing in the background, but it's playing in the background. It's loud as fuck. Hold on. All right, we back. Okay, so she ends up asking them why they end up asking her, why do you feel that way? Draya then says that she feels like they were doing a lot, and when they came in the house, like, they was doing too much. I said, no, you was when it was doing too much. You started everything that happened. Like, you was the one fighting at the first party. But Rose says, like, it makes you look vindictive because you going around saying to Joseline that you saying this type of shit to Joseline when we're all here to dance for Joseline. That's why we're here. Joseline says, like, that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. She's been getting on my nerves, and I've been telling her. She said, didn't I tell you? I told you 3 times you getting on my fucking nerves. And Joseline then asks, like, why do you keep doing that when we practicing? Because apparently she does it when they practice. And Joseline gets up and imitates how she comes to her during the practice saying, they're not here for the right reasons. Joseline is a trip. But Dez ends up saying, are you here for the right reasons? I'm like, yeah, are you here for the right reasons? Like, tell me that. But Joseline then starts talking to Draya like she's her mother. And then she eventually says, bitch, answer me. And of course, Draya says, yes, ma'am. I said, you have no, I can't stand when they do that shit. I cannot stand when her and Dani do that shit. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Joseline. You calling this woman is calling you a bitch in your face, and bitch, like emphasis on bitch. And y'all are literally no shame at all. Like that shit is embarrassing to watch. It's so cringy. But Joseline then asked her why she ain't say how she felt to them girls exactly. She said because you full of shit. That's why you didn't do it. She is full of shit. And Joseline ends up saying like you always being a sucker and you a pussy. And she really started reading her for real. Like everything she said was a fact. Joseline in her own way, because she said stuff in her Joseline way, but I picked up on what she was saying. She basically was saying that Draya is the type that throws the rock and hides her hands. And then Dani ends up being the one to fight her battles for her because she's a pussy, which is a fact. Like when you sit and think about it, Draya starts all of the issues, especially this season. She starts all of the issues, and when the issues are brought to her, Dani ends up being the one fighting. She's not fighting. She's the one, like the whole situation with Neek, Dani was fighting for Draya, per se. And then she was fighting Isis, too, for Draya. It's just like a whole bunch of stupid shit that Dani gets, and that's Dani's fault, too, because you a grown woman. You should be fighting everybody's battles when she the one that don't even fight her own battles. That's the same thing with Biggie on Baddies. But Joseline ends up saying Draya never fights her own battles, and she always be hiding behind Dani. Where's the lie? Dani starts crying, and she says because nobody always... It basically hit home to her that nobody comes to save her anytime, but she's always there for her friends. Well, it sounds like you need to start picking some new friends. But Joseline starts cussing Draya out, and I was enjoying every bit of it, saying that you might not even make it past tonight. You might not even make it past tonight because you are a sucker-ass bitch. She ain't lying. But Joseline then asks who else does not deserve to be here, and she ends up bringing up Hennessyy and why they don't feel like she belongs to be there. Neek ends up saying what irritated her the most was when she tried, talking about Hennessyy, tried to call her out at the ninja thing when they had the Ninja Warrior type thing. Hennessyy says, I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't know what she was talking about either. But they showed a flashback, and Hennessyy did not call her out. Neek decided to say her piece, which then led to Hennessyy and Envy fighting. That's where Neek needs to mind her business. Y'all know that's my baby. But the truth is the truth. Like, that's a fact. What Hennessyy then proceeds to say is true. Hennessyy says, like, why do you always have a problem with minding your business? Neek says, because I'm a real bitch. Hennessyy says, you never minded your business, though. You never mind your business. Neek says, everybody's business, or well, everybody is in everybody's business. We're all here. I'm just speaking on shit that I'm seeing. Yes, you are speaking on shit that you're saying, but the shit that you do speak upon sometimes will get you into a fight, which is what got you and Hennessyy into it because you started adding your 2 cents where it wasn't really warranted, it wasn't really needed. So Hennessyy is clocking Neek. But Hennessyy ends up saying that you think that you're a ringleader and you'll never try and bully me. And Neek says, I never tried to bully you. I never would try to bully you. Hennessyy says, so what was the purpose of the song? I said, ooh. Because good question. Hennessyy says, y'all got too much time on y'all's hands. I said that last week. Too much time on your hands. And even if you don't like somebody, if I didn't like somebody, writing a song, being a part of a song written about somebody, performing, you couldn't catch me doing that. If I don't like you, you're going to know I don't like you because I'm not going to speak about you. I'm going to act like you don't even exist. Not turn around and go be a part of a song and then always picking with, no. We can coexist as long as you don't fuck with me. And when you fuck with me, then you're going to catch a right hand. But I'm not going to act like you exist. I'm just literally going to act like you don't exist. So that's the way it is when you really don't fuck with somebody. But Neek says we all came up with it. Pretty much saying I wasn't the one that came up with the song. We all did. Hennessyy says it was you. I know it was you. Neek says you're wrong. It wasn't me. I don't care enough about you to make a song. I said you don't care enough about her to make the song, but you still involved yourself in it. So that makes you look like you care. But Hennessyy ends up saying that you made a song and went on national TV and said, I hate you. She said, I hate that for you. I hate that for you too. Because I might dislike a lot of people, but hate... When I say I hate something, I don't think, well, I hate Donald Trump. That's who I hate. And I hate people that support him. But when you say that you hate somebody, that means you care. So she's saying that about Neek. I do care, which is why I hate Donald Trump, because I hate the fact that y'all allowed this man to get back in office. But the issues that apply to everybody that's not black, you on your own this time. I don't give a fuck. But we're going to keep it moving. But they show a flashback of Jayla taking credit for the song and the costume. We all saw that last week. Neek ends up saying that I don't care about you and I would never make a song about a hoe. And Hennessy ends up saying since she walked in, it's been all of y'all sucking on my dick. And Neek says, you don't have a dick, do you? Do we need to know something or are we missing something? That part cracked me up. But she ends up saying that you don't have one. Nobody is sucking your dick. We all know she's metaphorically speaking, but Neek is playing on those words, which I would too, honestly. But Hennessy says again, suck my dick. And this time she throws a drink at Neek and tries to run around. She throws the drink and tries to run around to Neek. Neek says, I knew you was going to do that. And she gets up, obviously. Jayla gets up yet again, involving herself in some shit, hitting Hennessy before she could even get to Neek. And I said, this is exactly why I don't feel bad for her about everything that's happening with her online right now with the fallout of their friend group. Because you doing all this stuff on your own. Neek didn't ask you to get up. So, too much. But she started swinging down on Hennessy. She got Hennessy going this way and that way. Hennessy was falling side to side. I was like, damn. But Jayla ends up claiming the majority of the drink went in her eyes. I'm going to let her have that, whatever. If that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But she claims that's why she was swinging. Neek ends up now trying to throw chairs. Security's trying to break them all up and get them apart from each other. Hennessy and Neek are both trying to throw utensils and glasses at each other. Diamond is me. She worried about, like, are we really not going to eat now? Like, where's my drink? We didn't get no drinks. Where's the food? That would have been me. Where's the food? If anything, bring me my food so I can watch the show. So I can eat. But Hennessy says, I'm good. Who's next? Y'all already know what she did that last time when she said, who's next? But Oceans, this bitch, like, she is, I can't stand, this one I can't stand the most on the show. I don't want to say the most. She right up there with Dani and Draya for me. But Oceans, she ain't learned her lesson because she's still involving herself in shit that ain't got nothing to do with her. But she across the table screaming, calling Hennessy yet again a gutter rat ass bitch. Y'all saying that somebody said that she's mixed. I don't care. She's white presenting. You are white presenting. She's more white passing than she is anything else. And her calling any black woman a gutter ass bitch is never gonna sit right with me. But saying that her pussy stink and she's screaming at the top of her lungs. I'm like, you are very bothered by Hennessy. But then again, I'm like, I would be too if I wake up every morning and see that black eye and that bloodshot eye. I'd be bothered too. I'd be ready to kill. Ooh. I'd be ready to off somebody. YouTube, act like I never said that. Act like I never said that. But Jayla, she ends up apologizing. Let me see this. Hold on so I can mute that out. 17 seconds. Okay. 17 minutes. Okay. I gotta mute that. I'm gotta protect myself. I gotta get my money. But Jayla apologizes to Joseline for fighting at the dinner. And Joseline ends up asking which one Hennessy wants. Do you want Jayla or do you want Neek? And Hennessy says, every time I try to get to Neek, this bitch right here is always jumping in. Where's the lie? But Ocean starts screaming. And Hennessy says, shut the fuck up. Like, you sitting there with a black eye. Like, worry about that. I said, exactly. But Oceans is talking about, you'll never make me shut the fuck up. I'll never bow down to a bitch like you. Only the Puerto Rican princess. I said, is that supposed to be a flex? Like, you, Dani, and Draya, no shame. No shame. This is so embarrassing. I'm like, she need to go home and love herself. But she's still calling her a dirty gutter rat ass bitch. Neek comes back to fight Hennessy. Hennessy falls and Neek gets on top of her and starts rocking her shit. Starts rocking it. Security breaks it up. The girls start chanting Neek on. They go another round. This is a good matchup, honestly. Neek likes to swing. Hennessy likes the headlock first. Hennessy might have wrestled back in the day. Because she likes the headlock. When she headlocks you up. This time it worked for real. She got Envy back earlier this season when she got her on the ground and started getting them licks in. Y'all know this is my baby and it hurt me to watch. She got Neek down on the ground in the headlock and she started boom, boom, boom. Neek's face is on the ground at this point while she's hitting her. So she's clocking Neek on her face while her face is on the ground. And I know her face was hurting. I don't like seeing my woman get hit. But she was eating them. Because Hennessy was rocking her. I can't lie. It was the one that, look, Neek got the first round. Hennessy got the second round. But Neek gets up talking her shit, saying you ain't even do nothing, you bum ass bitch. Even though she did sock her good, she got up untouched. Like, she looked like she was untouched. But Joseline, they sit down and everything, and Joseline ends up saying, like, Neek don't know how to stop when she fights. Who would? Me? If you get me to the point where I'm fighting, because like I say, I'm not the type of person that's always going to sit and argue with you. I'll argue with you. I'll entertain you. But if it gets to a point where I can't, and if y'all didn't watch the live, I don't think I said this on the live, but I told Movie Bay Legend is, But I'm the type of person, I'm quick, but I'm not as quick, and I can't keep going when it comes to like talking shit back and forth. And if you get me stumped, I'm hitting you. At that point, I'm going to fuck you up. So if I get so mad to the point where I'm gonna hit you, I'm not stopping until I want to stop. So I understand why Neek don't want to stop when she don't want to stop. And Joseline popped me kettle because we know how you was back in the day. You didn't stop either until you wanted to stop. But Joseline's sitting there. Well, Neek sits down. And Lexi is pretty much telling her to relax. And Neek says, no, I'm not. It's not over until Jocelyn says it's over. You can tell Lexi is getting annoyed. But Jocelyn's sitting over there like, what the fuck am I going to do now? Like, these bitches is going back and forth. Like, why am I even going to step in? And Neek is screaming, saying that I'll shut up when Jocelyn tells me to shut up. But she finally stops. Jocelyn, in a very calm demeanor, says, emotions are high. I've had to fight just like y'all had. 10 young ladies at a reunion. Y'all know which reunion she was talking about. The iconic reunion where her and Stevie J walked up on Benzino and who was it? Who was the other girl? Benzino and whoever his girl was at the time. I can't think of her name right off the top. Got the banging on him. And then she ended up going to Waka Flocka's... damn, what was her name? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Waka Flocka's girl, Mimi. She was in there fighting everybody at that reunion. That was when Jocelyn was on that shit. For real, for real. But, she says, essentially, I know where y'all are at. Like, but only 9 of y'all are going to be moving forward to go with me on tour and still have the chance to win $50,000. She ends up asking Lexi if she's ready to leave with her pimp. I started laughing. Lexi says, like, and Lexi, she asked her what would she do if she goes home. She goes, like, it's always next time. It'll be unfortunate, but, like, I'm not going away. Jocelyn says, so why are you so confident? Lexi says, can't no bitch tell me to go home. But if you tell me to go home, obviously I got to go home. But Jocelyn ends up asking everybody else if Lexi should go. And Oceans ends up saying with her that the whole mic on Lexi's arms has her confused about the dancing part. What the fuck does that have to do with her dancing? Maybe she wants to put a mic on her tattoo, a mic on her arm because maybe she has other talents. Maybe she just don't want to just be a dancer all her life. Bitches like Oceans will never get money. You can never just only be... You don't ever box yourself into one thing. Like... People that have a lot of money have multiple streams of income. They do multiple different things. You're not just going to do one thing for the rest of your life. And if you do, you're never going to make no money. Because the bitches is making money, the niggas is out here making money, have their hands in every other pot. Why the fuck was she not? But that's why you're on this show begging a woman as a grown adult to like you, to put you... Like, Oceans, I can't stand her. But Lexi said, what? Ocean says, you know I'm here for the Puerto Rican princess. We know you are. We know you are, but I said, and they're not. Like, just because you're there doesn't mean they're not. Just because they're not sucking her dick don't mean they're not there for it. But Oceans claims she don't feel like, and she's saying this to her confessionals, saying that she don't feel like Lexi was there for the cabaret. She's there to elevate her platform. Who the fuck wouldn't be? Why is that an issue? But Lexi ends up saying, like, you saying it for the cameras. Every time I look up, you in my face. Oceans and Lexi, they start going back and forth. Erica's looking at Oceans funny because now she realizes she fake as fuck. She is. But Oceans is sitting there talking about how loyal she is to Jocelyn. And I'm just sitting there like, you sitting here saying all this with a black eye, bloodshot eye. Jocelyn don't care. She don't care about your well-being, but you so loyal. But Jocelyn ends up saying, after further consideration, I'm not picking no girls tonight. I got to think about a lot of things. Hearing what's going on with Neek. Not being asleep. Neek going crazy. Everything I've been hearing about Lexi. Whatever. And Erica, whatever. I'm not going to be able to do it right now. I'm going to have to figure it out, and we'll figure it out from there. Neek is pissed off because she was ready to see some bitches go home. But Jocelyn ends up claiming that Oceans fought for her spot tonight. I guess she did because she's sitting there all but getting on her knees and sucking you off. But Oceans, she's crying, looking like a buster for real, talking about, bitches, get out. Y'all need to get out because if you don't want to be here, I'm so sick of looking at myself with a black eye over bitches that don't want to be here. If I was Hennessy, I'd have walked over there and kicked her in her shit again. I want Hennessy to get home one more time. But they leave with no meal. No food came out there, not even a drink. I'd have been hot. But the way they was walking out and Hennessy was walking, I don't think Hennessy was going to do anything, but the security guard that was behind her was like speed walking behind her to make sure she didn't do nothing. That shit cracked me up. But the next day, Jocelyn's on her sprinter talking to Ricardo about everything that went down with Neek and Hennessyy. And he's like, they fought again? And she's like, yeah, they really don't fuck with each other like that. And she was like, why don't they like her? And he's like, honestly, I don't know. But she ends up asking if he thinks that the girls would be mad if she brought her on tour. And Ricardo said they just gonna have to deal with it. Literally, they just gonna have to deal with it. It's time to show that you're a professional. But he ends up claiming that Dani, Draya, and Raven delivered the most for him in the performance. I said, really? Okay. But the last scene, the girls are filing out of the hotel, and we find out here that this is where we're going to find out who's going to move on to the tour and who's going to be eliminated. They get the text, The Mo style. If y'all didn't watch The Mo on Netflix, go watch it. Good show. Shit, I might try out for it. I might need to try out for it. But they get their text, and they're standing on the curb, pretty much. If you make it, you go back in the hotel and go find your car, or you go on the bus if you made it on the tour. But Dani gets her text first. She's going on tour. Envy gets her text next. She going on tour. Erica gets hers next. She going on tour. Des is sitting there freaking out. I'm like, I would be too if I was you, because you didn't do enough. Like, you a pretty girl, but you ain't doing enough. You was a background character. Raven gets her text. She going on tour. Hennessy gets her text. She going on tour. She was nervous thinking that she was going to go home. I'm glad she didn't go home. Jayla wants to snatch Hennessy and break her legs because she made, I said, she got you too bothered for you to. I don't even think she really got beef with Jayla. Jayla makes Neek's beef her beef, which is why I don't feel bad for it. But Rose gets her text next. She going on tour. She said, I knew that I was going on tour because Hennessy got hers, and I don't feel like she deserves it because she ain't practiced as much as the other girls. I said, but if she ain't practiced as much as the other girls and she gets it right and looks good when it's time to look good, I wouldn't be practicing all day either. If I know the shit, well, I'm going to keep practicing with y'all. Like, what's the point? I guess for the cohesiveness of the group, but me knowing my shit and y'all not knowing y'all's, that's not a me problem. That's a y'all problem. Like, I can sit and watch y'all and tell you what to do, but if you can't get it, you can't get it. If I got it, why am I sit here and keep wearing myself out? But Raven, did I skip a part? Nope. Okay. Raven ends up saying that she now knows that there's 9 girls. Well, we know that there's 9 girls going on tour. 6 are already selected, only 3 to go. So all that's left is Diamond, Isis, Dez, Lexi, Neek, Oceans, Draya, and Jayla. Those are the ones left. Only 3 of those will be making it to the tour. Everybody else is going home. This, I was like, damn, because a lot of the girls that are waiting, I like. You got Isis, you got Lexi, you got Neek. Well, that's not a lot. Isis, Lexi, and Neek. Those would have been the 3 that I would have chosen, but we'll get to it. Ocean's annoying ass starts screaming because she got her text. Boo. Draya gets her text next. Boo. Neek starts screaming. She's the last one to get her text. I said, thank God, because she the best dancer. If they would have sent her home, it would have been stupid. But she was nervous because bitches was getting texts that didn't and shouldn't have deserved it. I agree. But Diamond, Lexi, Dez, Isis, and Jayla are eliminated. I'm very sad about Isis getting eliminated. Not very sad about Lexi, but I'm sad she got eliminated. Dez, whatever. But they do their outros or whatever. Diamond, she's crying because Raven's crying and she has to leave her, but now she gets to go home to her baby, so it's kind of a win-win situation. Isis felt like she's mad at herself because she feels like, what could I have done differently? I don't feel like you could have done anything differently. I just feel like Joseline really didn't like you. That's just really why I feel like she went home. Because dance-wise, she definitely was one of the best dancers there and should not have been sent home. But okay. She also says that she felt like she did more than the girls that got picked. I agree. I do. But Lexi says that there's no hard feelings, but she feels like it's fucked up because she actually wanted to dance. Dez, pretty girl, but she is literally furniture. Draya, interesting looking. She's a very interesting looking person, and I'm not going to elaborate. You pick up what I'm putting down. But she felt like she worked harder than some of the bitches that made it through, but she enjoyed herself and wants to come back. Isis. She's walking as the girls that made it are walking this way. The girls that didn't are walking this way. Isis ends up telling Draya, I feel like you had something to do with it, and you lucky I don't slap the shit out of you. I said, slap her. Do it. But the girls that made it, they get on the bus. Dani's talking shit about Isis in her confessional, saying that she ain't do shit, and Isis did this to herself with her attitude. The girls that made it to get on, they went and got on the sprinter, like I said. Draya is on the sprinter talking shit about Isis being mean and ugly, which is why she didn't make it. But you ain't said none of that shit when she was pressing you. Like, she was pressing you. Told you to your face, you lucky you don't get smacked. And you ain't say nothing to her. You just made a little screw face like, But you got all this mouth on the bus. This is what Joseline be talking about. Throwing rocks and hiding your hands. But she started talking hella shit. But Isis ends up saying too, Joseline didn't want to let them little boys, talking about Dani and Draya, she didn't want to let them go. But Isis says in her confessionals that I want to beat some ass before I leave. I said, exactly. I wanted you to. She walks over to the sprinter. She said, I saw red. We didn't get to see it. The cameras are shaking and stuff. I guess we're going to see it next week. Isis ain't got no wig on. I didn't watch the rest of this, but I'm about to watch it right now. Hold up, shit. Because I didn't watch the rest of what we're expecting. And I'm looking at it right now. So you might hear a few moments of silence. Because I'm watching it right now so I can give y'all my thoughts. So Erica and the Oceans gonna get into it. They have another performance. Neek look good as fuck. Damn, she look good. And then Dani and Draya look like they getting on Oceans, which I hope. Raven and Neek. Somebody stole Envy's chain. Hennessyy. Oh, this is the Hennessyy and Rose thing. And then Erica and Oceans. And this is where I hope she beat her ass. But yeah, y'all, we got a good episode. That was a good episode. We got another good one to come. I feel like we're definitely nearing the end of the season. Normally Joseline's ends in 12 episodes. We're moving to episode 12 now. So we'll see that next week. It's a good season. It's a good season. It's definitely top 2. Like season 2 was the best season. This season is right up there with it for me. We had them 2 little episodes, but this episode was good. Next week it looks good too. But yeah, if y'all got this far, thumbs up the video. If you have not already, get in the comments, subscribe if you're new, turn your post notifications on, and I'll see y'all if y'all watch Baddies in a couple of hours. I'll see y'all then. Peace.